How could Tu Youyou deceive the Nobel Prize and the Lasker Foundation Award in Medicine? Lecture 9. Tu Youyou had fabricated many crucial false documents to cheat the Nobel Prize and Lasker Award judges. In 2008, the China Ministry of Health provided a special fund to establish a writing agency to assist Tu Youyou in editing all Chinese and English documents supporting her Lasker Award and Nobel Prize. The agency leader was Rao Yi. The advisor was Zhang Beli. The address was in China Traditional Medical Academy. The left book, Qinghao and Qinghaosu-like drugs, published in 2009, was also edited by this agency, which was translated to English by this agency too, and submitted to Lasker Foundation and the Nobel Prize Committee as a supporting material. This book was full of falsified documents. On page 193 of this book, we can see the following infrared spectrum of sample Qinghaosu. Tu Youyou attempted to use this infrared spectrum to prove that she already obtained the Artemisinin crystal in 1973. However, this was a falsified document. It is ridiculous that the operating date only had year but without month and day. Moreover, the year number 1973 was not filled by handwriting as usual, but by the computer software typing because the font was very small. The time that PC came to China was after 1990. Therefore, this fabricated fake document was made by Tu Youyou after 1990. The other fabricated crucial fake documents were two nuclear magnetic resonance spectrum pictures on page 187 as shown in the left. Such MMR spectrum copy operations was conducted by Shanghai Institute of Organic Chemistry as early as in 1975 and published in 1981. Before 1986, Tu Youyou had never mentioned or published that she ever conducted such MMR spectrum operations. The first falsified evidence was that the operation time was written as December 9, 1973. However, that day was Sunday. The lab was closed. This MMR lab belonged to another university. A person retired from this university said nobody was working on Sunday in the Cultural Revolution time. The second falsified evidence was that the nuclear symbol 1H was wrongly written as H1. Every nuclear magnetic resonance operator knows the correct hydrogen MMR symbol was 1H. Therefore, this spectrum copy was not filled by the operator, which was impossible in 1973. Those were supposed to be two consecutive nuclear magnetic resonance scannings. The first operation was to put the reduced-Artemisinin in solvent CdCl3 and take the hydrogen nuclear magnetic resonance scanning. The second operation was to add 1 drop of D2O and take the scanning immediately. The purpose was to check whether the peak of hydroxyl group OH was gone. However, Tu Youyou was accused by other 523 project scientists for changing the scanning material during the operation. Let's find out why. In the right side, two main peaks of the reduced-Artemisinin are about the same height. However, the peak of CDCl3 in the second spectrum corbate is much smaller than the peak of CDCl3 in the first one. Therefore, the density of reduced-Artemisinin in the solvent CDCl3 for the second scanning is much larger than in the first scanning. This indicated that Tu Youyou had changed the scanning material before the second MMR operation. Because only adding one drop of D2O in the experiment material, all scanning peaks should be kept except the peak of OH was gone. However, we can see the scanning curve in the second picture was much smoother than the curve in the first one. Especially in the second scanning, the two largest impurity peaks disappeared, including one in the left of OH peak. This is also indicated that the experiment material in the second MMR scanning was changed. Now let's look at the scanning curves nearby delta equal 5. In the scanning 2, we can see two peaks clearly, which representing hydrogens at C11 and C12 alpha. However, in the scanning 1, the left peak can't see at all, and the right peak was shrinked to 1/3 of height. So, Tu Youyou had used the totally different scanning materials in two operations because it is impossible to create new peaks by just adding a drop of heavy water. In 2012, Tu Youyou used the invention of Dihydroartemisinin to apply for the China highest scientific and technological invention award. The chairman of the reviewer committee was Dr. Zhou Weisan, an academician from Shanghai Institute of Organic Chemistry. However, when Dr. Zhu requested Tu Youyou to present the real MMR spectrum scanning documents instead of the copies, Tu Youyou refused by saying the original documents cannot be found. Therefore, Dr. Zhu denied her application. In 2016, Tu Youyou applied again, but still did not present the original documents. The new review committee quickly approved her in the reason that the Nobel Prize committee already approved her dihydroartemisinin invention. This is the ceremony that Tu Youyou obtained the 2016 China Highest Scientific Invention Award certificate from Chairman Xi Jinping. Therefore, this highest honor of dihydroartemisinin was first recognized by Nobel Prize Committee in 2015 and 1 year later by China. Now we have two questions to ask Nobel Prize Committee. Question 1. Have you ever checked its anti-malaria efficacy is 2 or 10, assuming the anti-malaria efficacy of artemisinin is 1? Question 2. Have you ever checked Tu Youyou's nuclear magnetic resonance scanning document for reduced artemisinin is real or fake? On September 1st, 1985, Tu Youyou sent the following letter to Li Ying, asking how to recognize the alpha and beta configurations of the reduced artemisinin. Particularly, Tu Youyou attached her nuclear magnetic resonance spectrum chart in the letter and asked Li Ying to mark and explain the alpha and beta configurations. This letter clearly proved that Tu Youyou did not understand the alpha and beta configurations of reduced-Artemisinin at all in 1985, which was 13 years after she claimed the invention of Dihydroartemisinin. However, in 2009, when Tu Youyou published the book Qinghao and Qinghaosu-like drugs, she still did not understand the alpha and beta configurations at all. On page 193 of this book, Tu Youyou wrote the following data related epimer of dihydroartemisinin. However, 1 year after its publication, Li Yin sharply criticized such a short passage having 5 mistakes about alpha and beta configurations. In 2010, Li Yin, the inventor of Artemis, posted a paper at a website to criticize Tu Youyou's cheatings about dihydroartemisinin. She explained why Tu Youyou was wrong theoretically as the following paragraph. Simply say, Tu Youyou had no knowledge about the alpha and beta configurations. Therefore, J equals 9 is wrong. C12 H alpha is wrong. J equals 36 is wrong. C12 H beta is wrong. C5 H alpha and C5 H beta, only one is correct. Because Tu Youyou did not have many excellent research results for editing in her book Qinghao and Qinghaosu-like drugs, she persuaded many scientists and institutes to hand over their research results to her for publication. Tu Youyou promised to show their names after each result in the book. However, when the book was published in 2009, only Tu Youyou's name was listed as editor. All other scientists and research institutes' names were completely gone. This was an absolute intellectual robbery. Therefore, Tu Youyou faced a strong protest nationwide. Then Tu Youyou had to request a publisher to print a piece of slip containing all other editors' names and inserted the slip to each book. The following was a copy of this paper slip. However, the book Qinghao and Qinghaosu-like drugs was translated to English soon by the Special Writing Agency and submitted to Lasker Foundation judges as Tu Youyou's major supporting documents for her Lasker Award, but without supplementary editor names. According to the book contents, the Lasker Award and Nobel Prize judges would believe that Tu Youyou had conducted such many excellent anti-malaria researches. In October 1973, after Qinghaosu 2 showed its cardiotoxicity in the clinical trial at Hainan Island Hospital, Tu Youyou's team began to research the molecular structure of Qinghaosu 2 with the help of the institutes at Beijing, in the purpose to remove its toxicity by modifying its molecular structure. However, they did not obtain any significant progress in 1973. In 1974, Beijing Institute of Traditional Medicine signed a 1-year contract with Shanghai Institute of Organic Chemistry. The contract said that Beijing team members would carry Qinghaosu 2 crystal to Shanghai, and the Shanghai Institute of Organic Chemistry would assign the organic biology experts to mentor them to perform the molecular structure research. Shanghai Institute of Organic Chemistry not only needed to help Beijing Institute of Traditional Medicine members to design the biology experiments, but also help to teach them to understand the experimental results. In 1974, Beijing Institute of Traditional Medicine assigned Ni Muyun, Liu Jianming, and Fang Zhifeng successively to Shanghai Institute of Organic Chemistry to study the molecular analyzing knowledge and perform the research on the structure of Qinghaosu 2. They carried about 30 grams of Qinghaosu 2 crystal to Shanghai. However, their mentor Wu Zhaohua repeatedly recrystallized them until the melt point was stable. At last, Wu obtained only 6 grams of crystal. Tu Youyou came to Shanghai only once for 3 days, and she never did any experiment in Shanghai. In the end of 1974, Dr. Zhou Weishan of Shanghai Institute of Organic Chemistry organized the whole year's research results and edited a paper in the title of Structure and Reactions of Attenuity. The paper listed 6 authors. The first 3 were the Beijing Institute of Traditional Medicine members, and the next 3 were the Shanghai Institute of Organic Chemistry mentors. However, the paper was not accepted by any major academic journal for almost 5 years until 1979. The paper was rejected because the most scientists did not know what is really about attenuity initially. Actually, it was the repeatedly recrystallization from Qinghaosu 2. Because Qinghaosu 2 had a bad reputation of cardiotoxicity, therefore attenuity had a bad reputation too. This recrystallization was performed by Shanghai Institute of Organic Chemistry, and only about 20% of Qinghaosu 2 was converted to attenuate. Therefore, it was much purer than Qinghaosu 2 and could be considered closer to artemisinin. Under this reason, the paper's title was changed to Structure and Reaction of Qinghaosu and published in 1979. However, Tu Youyou's name was added as the 4th author by the political order from the Communist Party leader of the institute, although she did nothing about the research in the paper. Any paper in Tu Youyou's reference list must be removed out from the supporting documents if she did nothing. The following is the references in her Lasker Foundation Award paper, The Discovery of Artemisinin and Gift from Chinese Medicine. Number 2 was the first paper to discover the structure of artemisinin. Tu Youyou did not do anything about it. Therefore, this paper must be removed out. Moreover, the author's true name is Collaboration Research Group for Artemisinin Structure. Tu Youyou changed its name in purpose to include herself. Number 3 was her colleague's research result in 1974 at Shanghai under the mentoring of Shanghai Institute of Organic Chemistry. The original authors did not have Tu Youyou's name because she did not work in Shanghai in 1974. Her name was added by the Institute party leader later. Therefore, this paper must be removed out. Number 4 was a comprehensive outline of the research of artemisinin edited by 9 523 project teams, and all editors' names were listed on the first page of the paper. Dr. Su intentionally said that was anonymous, was in purpose to credit to Tu Youyou only. Therefore, this paper must be removed out. Number 5 was the exactly same paper as number 4, but in English version published 9 months later. Tu Youyou intentionally wrote this was in Chinese only because she was incapable to edit this paper in English. Therefore, this paper must be removed out too. Number 6 was an invention award to 6 523 project research teams from Chinese Scientific and Technology Commission in 1979. Tu Youyou's team was just one of the 6 award recipients. Using journal reviews of the world invention to mention this award was in purpose to hide other 5 award recipients. Number 10 was introducing how to develop artemisinin derivatives, artemether, artesunate, and others. This paper was edited in English by Li Ying and collected in her album Research of Artemisinin. Particularly, there was no Tu Youyou's dihydroartemisinin in this paper. It must be removed out. At last, let's listen how Tu Youyou lied about that she edited a booklet containing 640 anti-malaria prescriptions in a Nobel Prize speech.
接受任务以后，我收集整理历代中医药的典籍，走访名老中医，并收集他们用于治疗疟疾的方剂和中药，同时调阅了大量的民间方药，在汇集了包括植物、动物、矿物等2000余内服外用方药的基础上，编写了以640种中药为主的疟疾单列方集。
Tu Youyou's above speech was obvious lying because no one could collect more than 2,000 anti-malaria prescriptions in 3 months. In her Nobel speech, Tu Youyou demonstrated the picture of the booklet as follows. Her signature on the lower left corner of the cover could not prove that she was an editor. However, we found the preface of the booklet. The left picture was the preface of the booklet, briefly which said, "Since the establishment of our academy, we have collected several thousands of anti-malaria prescriptions. However, they were piled up for a very long time without sorting. In order to provide information for other units' anti-malaria research, we organized those prescriptions collected over the last decades and specifically selected 640 prescriptions from 1,000 original recipes to edit this booklet as a reference. From this preface, we also can find that the editor was a business team of Revolutionary Committee, China Traditional Medical Academy, and edited in April 1969. From the preface of the booklet, we can see, number 1, Tu Youyou did not collect any anti-malaria prescriptions at all. because those several thousands medicine recipes was already collected by the Academy Traditional Medicine Literature Office over the past 13 years from 1956 to 1969. Number 2. The booklet was edited by the business team of the Academy and not Tu Youyou at all, because Tu Youyou was not the business leader of the Institute in 1969. Therefore, Tu Youyou said that she collected thousands of anti-malaria prescriptions and edited 640 of them into a booklet was completely lying in the Nobel Prize speech. We appeal that the Lasker Foundation and the Nobel Prize Committee to investigate whether Tu Youyou made the false infrared spectroscopy for Qinghaosu and false nuclear magnetic resonance spectrum copies for reduced-Artemisinin in her supporting documents. If the investigation results turn out that Tu Youyou really did so, then both of her Lasker Award and Nobel Prize should be revoked. That was like if your students had submitted the false experiment results looks good. Should you keep giving an A when you found their fraud? More of Tu Youyou's cheating material will come soon next time. Bye-bye.